want me to believe in you. Just no matter I do. Do you want me? Do you want me to believe in you? Just no matter I do.
And we're live. Welcome back for another Deadline stream. It's the first Friday night Deadline stream since Gameweek 1. Can you believe it? Leicester v Forest tonight. Obviously not the most exciting game, but I do have Chris Wood to be fair, so maybe he'll keep chipping in. Do you guys like the Friday deadlines, or do you prefer it when it's a Saturday? I know a lot of you that watch these streams are from North and South America, and obviously it's brutal the time zone there when we had the Saturday morning deadlines. So I suppose those of you prefer this. Maybe not so much those of you the opposite side of the world, Australia, New Zealand and so on. So anyway, I've activated my triple captain, so lots to talk about there. I've made 2 transfers as well, so I'm fully attacking this game week. What I'm interested to know, is anyone else considering the triple captain, or have you used it already? Or are you saving it, and if so, why? So I've made 2 transfers. My first move was Saka to Palmer, but I couldn't afford to do that in one move. So my second move had to be either Trent to Vardiol or Gabriel to someone like Pinnock. And it was really, really close. Like, we'll have to see if that was the right call or not. It could go either way, I feel. Because obviously Trent's got really nice fixtures after this game week. But to me, it felt like Trent and Pinnock's not quite as solid as Vardiol and Gabriel. So I ended up going with Vardy and Gabriel, 2 premium defenders basically. But yeah, Trent could totally undo those moves. We'll have to see what happens in the coming weeks. But yeah, moves are locked in. Palmer's in. Saka's out. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Saka still plays, to be honest. You can never tell. You can never tell with Arteta, really. He's very guarded with his news. But we can talk all about Saka and obviously Son as well. I know lots of you got Son brought him in last week. Some people already brought in Son this week to catch. I think did he go up in price? I think some people went early. Preminash watching from Canada, mate. Love the content. Thank you very much, Preminash. Loz says triple captain is indeed active. I'm glad to see I'm not the only crazy one. Or maybe it's just the 2 of us that are crazy. Rahul's from the US as well. Loves the Friday deadlines. It is a triple captain blot. It is active. Andrew's got it active as well. Razvan says double City defence. I know. I mean, I'd like to think there's a good chance of a clean sheet against Southampton. But to be fair, the odds are like 52%. So when you actually step back and think about those odds, it's not that likely. It's almost a coin toss whether they keep a clean sheet. But that's pretty good odds. So yeah, I've doubled up. But, you know, with these 2, there is potential for them to do more, especially against Southampton. So, you know, if I'm lucky, maybe one of them will chip in with attacking returns. Maybe I'll get a Vardy goal or a Lewis assist, something like that. But yeah, chasing the upside this week, hence the 2 moves. Mike's on triple captain Foden. I don't know about that one. I mean, like, is he 100% going to start? It's probably like 75% if I was to guess. Because Grealish is out, Doku's out, but they're the left wingers. And against Sparta Prague this week in the Champions League, Foden was playing through the middle as like one of the cams, the 2 cam slots. It was Nunes and Savio that played on the wing. So Nunes had a really good game in left wing, to be fair. So maybe Foden's competing for a spot through the middle. Maybe it's Gundogan that drops out. FPL Worm says we're back. Yeah, it's good to be back. Welcome all to the stream. FPL Worm, Jungle, Diego, Benjamin, Quasim, Pepe, Isaac, Gene, FPL Uproar, SSL Clips. Good to see a few members as well. Daniel, Razvan, Dan, Mikey. And welcome to any other members. Oh, Andre's in the chat. Daniel Barber. Good to be back for a Friday stream. Daniel says love the content. Yeah, it's been a good week of content. I've enjoyed this week, and today's was a bit mental because obviously the Friday deadline, so I had to get the video out as quickly as possible. So I was just glued to my screen following the press conference news, and then as soon as that wrapped up, I quickly recorded the video and stuck it out. So if you haven't seen that, that's out. There's loads of big questions and dilemmas covered in that, and then all the news from today's presses in that as well. And then I kind of talked through my final thoughts on my team. Did anyone watch it? Did you like the cartel segment? That seemed to have gone down well. FPL doesn't have to be serious all the time. FPL Uproar loves the Friday deadlines. Yeah, I don't mind it. It's something to look forward to on the Friday, isn't it? Don't have to be up early tomorrow either. Have a little lie-in. So many members named Daniel. Yeah, what's up with that? It's Me Vert says do a triple captain poll. Good shout. Let's do that. So, is your triple captain active? Yes, used it already. So we'll go yes, used it already, and saving it. How about that? I imagine most people are still saving it. Alex says, I see Vardy on your team. I get comfort, no benching, hopefully. Yeah, I mean, for me, Alex, like, he was benched in the Champions League. It's weird hearing your voice at 1x speed. What do you mean? Oh, because you normally... Hang on. Do people watch my videos on, like, 2 times? Is that what people do? Let's hands up in chat if you've watched my videos on higher than 1x speed. Does anyone watch it on 0.5 times? Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know that was so much of a thing. Hang on. Nick says, yeah, Aryaman does it. But people say I talk too fast, so I'm surprised. Can you even follow what I'm saying? David does it on 1.25 times. If you stick this stream at 1.5 times, you'll get to the deadline quicker. Stick it on 2 times, and we'll be at the deadline in an hour straight and an hour flat. He's trying to say you sound fast. Attention span is cooked. Listen, I make some of the shortest FPL videos. If you can't even sit through 10 minutes, no, I don't mind. I mean, it doesn't make a difference. If anything, I think it's a good thing because it eats up the view time quicker. Oh, Dan D with the 10 gifted memberships. Thanks so much, Dan. Holy. Liam got one. Renato. Colin Boogle. I could see he got one. St. Nikos. Mike got one. Garage. Cracker. Diego and Cam all got one. I think I missed the super chat as well. It's Cracker Jack. He said 2 free transfers. He's got Saka and Calvert-Lewin to Palmer and Visser. Start 3 out of Trent, Gabriel, Lewis, Mikalenko and Aina. Ooh. So, it feels weird to bench Trent and Gabriel, doesn't it? I mean, Lewis you definitely start, but so you put him aside. I think Mikalenko you have to start at home. And Branthwaite, I know there was a good chance he was back last week, but this week I've heard the same again, so that'll boost them defensively. So then it's Aina, Trent or Gabriel. So Aina away at Leicester, which is pretty good to be fair. My feeling though is Trent, Arsenal v Liverpool, I think it's going to be a low scoring game. I wouldn't start Gabriel. It is close, but obviously Saliba's out, Calafiori and Timber could be out. I'm just not sure if there's a clean sheet there, but maybe there is. So it's Trent versus Aina. We've narrowed it down to the last 2. I think I'd start Trent over Aina just about. That one's so close though. What's the clean sheet odds say on that out of interest? See if I can find them. So Forest 27.5%, Liverpool 22. So yeah, that's about right. 5% less, but obviously you've got way more goal threat with Trent. I think I'd give it to Trent. Do you guys agree with that, or would you go Aina? I like those other moves, by the way, Jack. DCL and Saka to Palmer and Visser. That's nice. Thanks again for the 10 gifted as well, Dan. Appreciate that very much. Rosa says, play Calvert-Lewin or trade him to Cunha or Visser. The annoying thing about Calvert-Lewin is his fixtures are pretty good for a while. So like either you just cut your losses, or every week you kind of say, wow, he's got this next week, he's got that next week. So it's Fulham home, and then it's Southampton away, and then it's West Ham, and then it's Brentford. So like you could be in this cycle, this toxic relationship with Calvert-Lewin for 4 weeks, where you're like, oh, I'll give him 1 more week, I'll play him next week. Oh, would I sell him though if I had him? I don't know if I would go to Visser from Calvert-Lewin. Cunha I do like, to be fair. I like that maybe more for this week. That's such a difficult one. I don't know if you can sell him before a home game though. I'd be tempted to give him a couple more weeks. But the thing is, like, I think one of Visser or Cunha might do well this week. But it's just like Visser, he's not 100% guaranteed to start. He's just back from injury. Cunha's nice, but then he's got a bit of a more difficult fixture, doesn't he? He's away at Brighton, so I think I'd just leave it another week. See how he does. And you never know. He could surprise you this game week, and then it's Southampton after that. Yeah, I think I'd give him at least one more game week, to be honest with you. But I can understand the temptation. He's such an annoying pick, isn't he? When he's blanking multiple games in a row. But then he still has the good fixtures, so it's like you feel like you have to keep him. And I think I would give him another week. Turbocharge says Saka to Palmer. Solanke to Rao, Jimenez or Cunha. Need the funds. I prefer Cunha to Rao, I would say. They're both great, don't get me wrong. Like Jimenez, I think, is in better form, right, recently. But Cunha, I still really rate Cunha. I think he's a really solid pick, and he's a more of a longer-term pick. So I would rather Cunha over Jimenez personally. Keep your questions coming in the chat, and I'll answer as many as possible. Boona in the chat. He says, "Do you reckon we'll get any further news on Saka from Arsenal, from any Arsenal correspondents before the deadline, Oscar?" I'd be very surprised because they play on Sunday, right? I mean, maybe there'll be a leak, but the problem is it's like 2 days till they play. So it's not even like we get a leak about a game tomorrow. It's Sunday that they play, so I'd be very surprised. I'll keep an eye out during the stream and refresh, but yeah, I doubt we get anything more than what Arteta's told us. For anyone that's missed it, this was what was said. Arteta said, by the way, did anyone see, I guess, well, I don't know what I'm asking is, who the hell watches press conferences? Just me, I think. I do know Boona was there, actually. Boona was watching it with me earlier. And the first question to Arteta was, they're like, hello, Arteta. Hundreds of thousands of FPL managers are going to be hanging on to your every word next here. Is Saka available? So I did appreciate that the first question was like an FPL one. But yeah, he said, we're going to do our very best to have them, in reference to Saka, Calafiori and Timber, somehow available, but it is very, very uncertain. And then more of Saka, he says, yeah, he's done a bit of training on the grass. How far we can get him to Sunday, that's a different question. We'll see. So that is all we got. Do you guys think Saka plays or no Saka? I mean, Arsenal will need a miracle if like Saka's out, plus like Calafiori and Timber. I wouldn't be surprised though. It wouldn't be the first time for players not to be seen in training and then to play. Now, Sky Sports were there as well earlier, and they said they hadn't seen him, but they only get to see the first 15 minutes of training. And then they have to leave. So, yeah, all we have to go on there is Sky saying that as well, that they hadn't seen him train him. Never realised Oscar's reading his own tweets. Yeah, I thought I may as well just use one of my own ones, because I actually covered all the quotes, because I was watching the press conference live. So I wrote down everything he was saying live while I was watching. Dan D, thanks for the 10 months. He said, why did you sell Trent over Gabriel? Is it to save a future transfer and bringing him back? Or do you plan on starting Gabriel over the next few? Cheers. Yeah, after this week, I'll start Gabriel again. Most likely. I have the option not to be fair. Like I could start Lewis over Gabriel. It might be Rodgers that drops to the bench and I go to back four. It was really close, Dan. Like, the two options I had was Gabriel down to Pinnock or like an 8 Nori, someone like that. I looked at Dunk, but the problem is Dunk's fixtures are horrendous after this game week. So, like, if Lewis misses out, then I'd be in trouble. So, basically, it's like Trent plus Pinnock or Gabriel plus Vardiol. I think that's really close. Like, I do rate the Pinnock pick. I do rate the Pinnock pick. Send your lump. Good evening, Oscar, and wishing you a good game. Love you. Can you let me inside now, please? No, this is my house now, mate. I found the keys. This is my gaff. So, like, it was so close. But also, do you see the quote from Russell Martin? He said, like, we're not going to just park the bus. We're going to try and go for a win. So, God knows what he's planning, but it sounds like they're going to go for it. It could be a really open game. And then Doku and Grealish out, so maybe we see Vardiol getting down the left a bit more until they're back. Sugawara is flagged, so that could be another weak list down that side. I don't know, just it was really close. Honestly, it was so close picking between them. I was banging my head against the wall at like 1 in the morning last night, or something like that. Like if you look at when I made my transfer, it was really late last night. I was like, oh, I just need to lock this in. Or it might have been the night before. It was when Palmer was going up, so I just thought, let's just lock this in. So yeah, I ended up on Vardio. Let's see what happens. But yeah, don't get me wrong, selling Trent could be a mistake. The fixtures are amazing. Even this game week, he could do something like the best for expected goals conceded this season, and they've got nice fixtures after. The other thing was, I'd only get Trent for game week 10 and 11, so I'd have to lose him for Southampton unless I don't get Saka back straight away. But I might end up doing that because I'll have Johnson against City if I'd have gone down that route. So instead I might get Saka back when Johnson's got City. That's the plan. So Vardio could be like in my team for 3 weeks, if that makes sense. Siazk says, Oscar, convince us why we should triple captain Haaland. Well, I'll give you a balanced argument. So I did grab a screenshot actually from today's video. I'll summarize it, right? So there's this feels like a lecture now, like a lesson. I've got the cursor here. So you can see it, there's 2 expected double game weeks this season, right? In previous seasons we had more than that, but because they've scrapped FA Cup replays, 2 double game weeks. Now we've got the bench booster free hit and the triple captain, which are all good in double game weeks. So that's 3 chips to use in 2 doubles, right? Plus we've got the mystery chip. We don't know how that works, or whether that's best used in a double game week. Maybe it's not. Maybe I can't think of a scenario where it's better in a single, but you'd imagine it would be a good chip for a double. So that's potentially 4 chips to use in 2 doubles. Even if you free hit in a blind game week, that's still potentially 3 to use in 2. So it might be the most effective week to triple captain, to use a triple captain in a single game week, because in my opinion it's the least powerful chip as well. I would rather bench boost or free hit in a double game week. There are other opportunities though to offer the other side of the coin. Salah's still got to play all 3 promoted teams. Palmer's still got to play them all. Leicester, Ipswich, Southampton. Haaland's still got to play Leicester home as well. And when Haaland plays Leicester home, we'll know what the mystery chip is. So those are the pros and cons. And then if you look at this, these are the top projected goals for every fixture, for every player this season. Game week 2, Haaland had 1.34 projected goals and he got a hat-trick. This game week he's, 0.02 ahead. So it's basically the same for the Southampton game. 1.36 projected goals. So there's that as well. So those opportunities in the future, they could be equally good or even better, but those are unknown qualities, right? Players could be injured, teams could be prioritised in Champions League or whatever, European football. We just don't know what's going to happen later. So it's an opportunity right here and now, but you can definitely make the case for saving it. Like, you definitely can. Cheers, Professor. That's it. Class dismissed. Off you go. Thanks for coming. No, I'm back. Right, I think I missed a few super chats while I was rambling. Only Mully with the 34 months. He says, hi, Oscar. I was planning to do Saka to Son, but now I'm thinking Johnson or Kulu. I know Johnson makes the most sense, but Kulu's been looking very involved. Yeah, so Son obviously very unlikely to play. I'll just pull up his Postecoglou's quote on that while I talk. So he said, Son's still not right, still not feeling the 100%. He won't train today, so he's unlikely for this weekend, and we'll see after that. So yeah, Son's a no-go. Like, you don't go Saka to Son. Would I go Saka to Johnson though? I think it depends who you got on your bench. I'd be tempted to keep him unless you haven't got Palmer. Then I would prioritise getting Palmer. I know some are looking at Foden, but I'm not quite there yet on Foden. I mean, has anyone gone Saka to Foden? Or, sorry, yeah, Saka to Foden or Son to Foden. Has anyone done that move? Because it's one of those, like, it's massive upside this week, home to Southampton, and he probably does start, to be fair. But does he start every game after that? So, yeah, I'm not so sure about Foden. I think he's an awesome pick, but it's just a bit risky for me. If I was going to get one of those, it'd be Johnson. But is Saka to Johnson an upgrade for the next 4? Because we don't know 100% that Saka's out. I don't know if I'd do it. Unless you've got nothing on your bench, only moly, then I would do it. But yeah, Johnson, I would say. Unless you haven't got Bumo and Bumo. Is it Mbumo with an M or Bumo, no M? Because I've had comments saying the M's silent, so then I stopped pronouncing the M. And then I had comments yesterday saying, why are you pronouncing it wrong? It's Mbumo with the M. So what do you say? Your bench is wank? Okay. Yeah, I think it'd be Johnson then. It'd be Johnson for like 3 game weeks, right? And then you just go back to Saka. So you get Palace away, Villa home, Ipswich home. So 2 home games in 3. It's with an M, Mbumo. Okay. Yeah, unless you haven't got Mbumo. It's not Mbuemo. No, it's not. Mbumo. Okay. Triple captain poll. 31% have got it active. 13% have used it already. And 56% are saving it. Sorry, Chinloyd, still working down the list. So Chinloyd said, should I give DCL another week or 2? He keeps blanking for me. But Rowler Wood is tempting. I've got a tough decision on starting Flecken or Verbruggen. Yeah, we're talking about DCL like at the start of the stream. And he's such an annoying player because he's blanking, but then he's got great fixtures. I don't think I'd sell him unless you've got tons of roll transfers. I don't think I would this week. It's a home fixture and then it's Southampton away. I feel like unless you've got loads of roll transfers, I think I'd just give it another week. Flecken or Verbruggen? I'd start Flecken. These are the clean sheet odds for this game week. So Brentford 34%. So oh, hang on. Who have Brighton got? They got home to Wolves, is it? Brighton home to Wolves. I'd rather start Flecken personally. I still feel like Wolves might turn it around. They've been a bit unlucky to... Well, they got 1 point. Like, that's a bit unlucky. They've actually not looked that bad at times. And the fixtures are turning. I feel like this is where they'll start to find the motivation. Honest thoughts on Havertz and Saka to Palmer and Vista for a -8. Not for a -8, Boona. I don't think I'd do that for a -8. I think I'd leave that. Like, Havertz and Saka are pretty solid after this game week. It's just this week, isn't it? It's all a bit up in the air. So, Cherry, thanks for the 30 months, says, already have Palmer. Do I either move Saka to McNeil, Foden or roll? If I had Palmer and Saka, I would just roll with it, personally. Unless you've literally got a non-existent bench. But I wouldn't go to McNeil. I mean, if I had to pick between the two, I'd rather go to Foden. But I like Johnson, Mbumo. But yeah, if I had Saka and Palmer, I think I'd just roll. I don't think I'd be going to Foden, personally. Just for the security of Saka longer term. It just feels like Foden's a headache. You might be booking it later, but I do appreciate like it's one of the best fixtures they'll have all season, so that the upside is massive. Like, he could come out and just get a brace or a hat-trick. Like, he did it last season a couple of times. Sammy says, I've got 2 free transfers and I want to get Palmer for Salah. Please have a look at my team. I don't normally do IDs, so ideally please don't send ID because I have to load it up in the background. And let's try and get your team up then. You're doing well this season, but you want to go... Do you mean Saka, not Salah? I think you said... So you meant Saka. And you've got 2 free transfers. How much you got in the bank then? 1.5. What do you mean? You just go Saka to Palmer in one move. Do you mean Salah? I would go to Palmer. I would just go Saka to Palmer. I wouldn't go Saka to Salah. Just do the one move. Keep the second transfer. I do get like Salah's fixtures are awesome from next game week, but I would just do the one move. Otherwise, you're having to sell like... I don't even know who you'd sell here. You'd have to sell Gabriel or something. So I would just get Palmer. I mean, if you're desperate to do it, then it'd have to be Gabriel, I think. Oblivious says, I went Saliba to Collins and Saka to Palmer. I benched Gabriel and started Trent. Thoughts on them? Mbumo triple captain. Also, would you start Semenyo or Calvert-Lewin? I'd start Calvert-Lewin. I wouldn't triple captain Mbumo for me. Not for me. I mean, these are the projected points this week, and it's not even close. So Haaland's on what? 9.3 on FPL review. Palmer's on 6.9. And Mbumo's third on 6.4. I do get it's a great fixture, but I wouldn't be captaining Mbumo. PCH says he's watching from the train toilet. Nice stream. Fair play. Where are you headed? Where's everyone tuned in from? Tag me in a photo, actually, of where you're watching from. Not if you're on the toilet. But take a photo of your stream setup, like your TV or your laptop or whatever, and then tag me on Twitter and I'll retweet it. There was a good question from, where was it? Big Man. Big Man says, Bamford 2021 season or Michu 12-13. For me, it's Michu. That was, I think, my first or second FPL season. And I've just got such great memories of that season, like the iconic celebration. Remember this? They didn't play FPL back then. He was signed for Swansea. I think it was Brendan Rodgers as manager. Completely unknown player. Class as a midfielder, 6.5 mil. And he ended up playing as a striker. And he got like 18 goals and then a bunch of assists. Out of position midfielder. And he just didn't stop scoring. He even got a call up to Spain. And yeah, he's asked in an interview I saw, like, I think it was last year. And he said, like, those are the fondest memories of his career. That spell at Swansea where he just tore it up. So, Michu for me. I mean, I'll chuck that back to you guys. Who's your favourite FPL player of all time? Or which season? I mean, there's lots you could put out there, though, aside from that. Like, Lundstrom was pretty legendary. I mean, Palmer last season, right? To start at 5 mil and then to get 22 goals, 13 assists, like, even that's unheard of. We did have Kane. In Kane's breakout season, he was 5 mil. I think he got like 18 goals. But even then, like 22 goals, 13 assists, like that was levels above. Alexis Sanchez, 1560. Stuart Dallas is a good one. Yeah, he's the unsung hero, Dallas, because he was actually better value in terms of points per million than Lundstrom was that season. Lundstrom was 4 mil, Dallas was 4.5, but Dallas got like 180 points. West Brom Lukaku, yeah. I mean, Everton Lukaku as well. I remember captaining Lukaku when he got a hat-trick. I'll get back to Super Chats in a sec. Going down nostalgia here. John Lundstrom, yeah, good shout. Michu. Leighton Baines, yeah. Luis Suarez, yeah, that's another one. I had him like perma-captain. What's mad as well is he got like, was it 293 points or something? And he wasn't even on penalties. They had like 10 penalties that season and Gerrard took them all. He would have completely obliterated the points record, which Salah is still Salah still holds at the moment. But like if Suarez was on pens that season, who knows what could have been. And actually, Suarez missed the first 5 games. He was suspended. I think it was for biting someone, wasn't it? Was it Evra? Can't really remember now. 33 games, 31 goals, 14 assists, something like that. Yeah, that was it. I mean, that season was crazy. Bertman says, got 3 free transfers. Saka to Palmer leaves me 0.4 mil short. From Raya, Trent or Gabriel, who to trade to make up the funds? So I had the same dilemma, and my options were Trent to Vardiol or Gabriel to Pinnock. I ended up going Trent to Vardiol, but it's really close. Those are the 2 options I'd consider. Trent to Vardiol or Gabriel to Pinnock. I ended up going the Vardiol route, but both are good. You might prefer to keep hold of Trent, and I think that's perfectly fine too. Halftime Oranges, what a name. He's got 2.3 mil in the bank. He's got Trent and Gabriel. Would you swap Van den Berg for Vardiol and blow the cash, or keep it for future moves and transfer Gabriel instead? It's hard to say about knowing the rest of your team in context, but I mean, Van den Berg to Vardiol is really nice, but it depends on like the premiums you've got. because I think it's achievable to get to 3 premiums. Some are already on it this week. I'll probably do it Gameweek 12. So that's the only trade-off. But I think I'll do that. I mean, that's a nice move. Really a nice move for the next few weeks. And then you can always move them straight on again. And you just stick with Trent and Gabriel. Yeah, I like that. But it's hard to say 100% without knowing the rest of your team. Elk says, adding Salah and Pinnock for Trent and Saka. What do you think? Yeah, I like that. Do you already have Palmer, Elk? I think I'd rather buy Palmer this week. But I don't mind Salah, yeah. Yeah, it's good moves. I mean, I was really reluctant about selling Trent because he does have nice fixtures. But does Saka play? That's the thing. Can you afford to get Saka to Palmer unless you've already got Palmer without selling Trent? That's the other thing to consider. Like, I could have done something similar and I went Saka and Trent to Vardy on Palmer, which on paper I think is a bit stronger, but it depends if you've already got Palmer. You already have Palmer. Okay. Yeah, I like those moves. Saka's such a headache because we don't get concrete news from Arteta. Because he could play and then he's just like, and then you kind of regret it. Like, I'll regret it a bit unless Palmer hauls. But if Saka plays, then it's like, maybe I shouldn't have done that. But we don't get complete info. That's the difficulty. Domingo reckons he's playing. Alex Cook, thanks for becoming a member. Thanks very much, Alex. Appreciate your support. If anyone else wants to be a member, use the join button below the stream. You get the members channel, Discord, early access to videos, the members league, and a little badge by your name, a little loyalty badge. I think this is frozen. Let me refresh this. Yeah, my live chat's frozen. Bear with me. There we go. Drew Fourier says, who do I bench between Mazraoui, Dunk, and Porro? I'd bench Mazraoui. I wouldn't bench Porro just because of the attacking threat. Plus, there is that clean sheet potential. And Dunk's got a nice fixture. I'd bench Mazraoui. Will Keane start? It really depends on Branthwaite. I'd guess there's a good chance he doesn't, even though he did score last game week. Scythe Gaming, thanks for becoming a member as well. Thanks very much, Scythe. Appreciate the support. FPL Addict says, can you hold a minute's silence for those of us that brought Son? I don't know about an entire minute. I think everyone would leave the stream if we did an entire minute. But we can do 5 seconds silence to reflect on that one. There we go. That one was to the Sun bias. Hey, to be fair, if you bought him last week, then you got the goal, right? You didn't get the assist in the end, but you got the goal. Obviously, if you bought him this week, 5 good seconds. That was 5 excellent seconds. I mean, if you bought him this week early to get a price for a brilliant gesture. Thanks, Boona. If you bought him this week, then obviously that's unlucky. I just think also when there's European football, it's so risky to go early. Obviously, in this context, European football didn't have any impact on that injury. He had it anyway. But yeah, maybe like a valuable lesson to just hold your transfers as long as possible. The longer you wait, the more information you have. I admittedly went a little bit early on Palmer, but all the Champions League was out of the way, and Palmer obviously isn't in Chelsea's Europa Conference League squad, so I felt a bit more comfortable in that. And Vardy was rested in the Champions League, but even then, you could have other issues that just come out of nowhere by the deadline, like Son. Thanks again, Scythe and Alex, for becoming members. Bertman says, so you'd say Pinnock, not 8 Nori. I just couldn't bring myself to consider 8 Nori. Like, I know the fixtures are turning, and he can be attacking, but do we really want to count on someone like Wolves for clean sheets and possibly an attacking return? I just feel like I don't know, do you guys think 8 Nori's a trap? I don't hate the pick. I do think he's alright. And he's, what is he, 4.5 mil? I just looked at it and I thought, there's much more clean sheet potential, but less attacking threat of Pinnock. Although in fairness, Pinnock's got 2 goals and 2, right? I don't know, I looked at it and I just thought, I think Pinnock over 8 Nori. Wolves are rubbish. 8 Nori's a trap. -8 inbound. Yeah, I've triple captained JR. It's active on Haaland. He's one of those players, like he does, like especially when they play for at the back, he plays like a left winger. He gets so far advanced and he can properly pass the eye test. But there's just not many clean sheets there, I would say. But I do also back them to turn it around. They've been about unfortunate to have done as badly as they have. I mean, look at last game. They almost snatched a point against City, if not for that 95th minute Stones goal. What time's the City match? It's at 3 o'clock tomorrow. There's actually no early game tomorrow. The games start 3 o'clock UK time. No worries, Alex. Thanks for the support. What do you think about Lewis? I think he's a sound purchase still. I mean, Walker's out for this game week. We know that from Pep. He said Doku, De Bruyne, Grealish and Walker are all out for this game week. So his expected minutes look pretty good this week. He's never completely nailed. But with Walker out, that's good news in terms of Lewis's prospects. FPL1, thanks for the super chat. He said Saka to Palmer or Foden. I can change back in 3 weeks with Foden, or I can hold Palmer for ages. Triple captain Haaland. Have a great weekend, everyone. Thanks very much for that. For me, it's not even close. Like Saka to Palmer. If you can get to Palmer, there's no debate for me. He's such a long-term hold as well, and you know he's going to start every game. You know he's not even in their Europe squad. So when they've got European games, he gets those midweeks off. I mean, look at the long-term fixtures. I just feel like you're getting Palmer now, and he's just not leaving your team for ages. Whereas you look at Foden, I do think like there's massive upside with Foden, but does anyone else hate that feeling when you're waiting for the lineups to drop, and every minute seems to go slower as it gets closer to the lineups coming out? You're waiting and waiting. Oh, is there any leaks? Is there any leaks if Foden starts? Is Lewis going to start? Like I get that with Lewis still now. I don't know. To spend that much on Foden, you're not even confident he's starting every game. What's he started? Twice this season or once? I just think it's not even close. Foden versus Palmer. And yeah, triple captain Haaland. We did like a whole segment on it earlier. I can do it again a bit later if people would like. But if you missed the triple captain chat, just rewind the stream to that bit. I'm so skint I can't pay attention, let alone get Salah in. FPL Stew. What do you think about Salah versus Arsenal? I mean, what's the lineup going to be? I saw a predicted lineup from Clayton. I'll pull it up here. So, I mean, Salah could get a lot of joy, couldn't he, against Kiwior, if it is Kiwior. I mean, it could be Kiwior, it could be Zinchenko, maybe Lewis Skelly even. Interestingly, Lewis Skelly came on in the Champions League, not the other two. But he might favour Kiwior. But yeah, Salah could get a lot of joy down there. And then obviously, Saliba suspended, so it could be White and centre back, Partey right back. Does Saka play? He's got him in his predicted lineup. Domingo reckons Salah and Saka score for a 1-1 draw. Isn't Timber back though? Not necessarily, Philip. Arteta said they're going to do whatever they can to see if he'll be available, but I forget the exact wording now. But it sounded like it's not that promising, but he could be. Marcus Phillips, thanks for becoming an FPL Focal member as well. Thanks for your support, Marcus. Appreciate that. Is Gabriel to Vardy worth a -4? Probably not for a -4, no. I'll just leave it. It could be a low scoring game, as I said earlier, so I don't think it's that bad to play Gabriel this week. Or Trent. Or Raya in goal, in my case. But obviously I'm benching Gabriel, so as an Arsenal fan, if we can win it like 5-1, that'd be great. So there's no clean sheet, but we still get the 3 points. But that's definitely not going to win that comfortably. Who do you reckon wins that one? Quite hard to call that one. Because it's home for Arsenal, but we've got players missing. So that could nudge Liverpool's favour. Not sure what the bookies' odds are looking like on that. ABJ reckons Liverpool score 3 goals. -4 to sell Son. I think I'd just keep him. Unless you can get to Palmer for -4. I don't think I'd go to Salah or Foden for a -4. Liverpool 3-0. Everyone reckons Liverpool win it. Do you reckon I should sell Eze? Eze's such a funny one, isn't it? It's like Bruno. Like, they look good at times. They put up good numbers, but they just keep blanking. I think is it Forest this week? No, who've they got? Who have Palace got? Palace play... Oh, they're home to Spurs. I mean, I would be tempted. I would be tempted to get rid now. I mean, I got rid of him a few weeks ago because I was just fed up with him. It's been a bit unlucky as well. Like, that free kick, that still lives rent-free in my head. That free kick he scored where the ref incorrectly blew the whistle like a fraction of a second before it hit the back of the net. And had he not blown, the goal would have stood. But then, because of the whistle, by the law of the game, they had to cancel the goal. So yeah, that was a bit unlucky. Welbeck news. I think it's going to be a late fitness test. I'll see if I can find the latest on that. Oh, interesting. I don't know if this is a troll. Full training session yesterday. Oh yeah, so it seems like he has a chance. It could be a late fitness test. This is what the latest is. FPL Instinctive is a Brighton fan, so I'm happy to bring his tweet up. Herzler said on Welbeck, it's too early to say if he can play or not, but he will train today, and then we will see. João Pedro, no exact date yet. Minte, we'll have to go day by day. So there you go. Thanks to everyone that's tuned in so far. If you've enjoyed the stream, drop it a like. Make sure you subscribe. Keep your questions coming in the chat. Johan says, Saka out for a -4. Got Palmer, Foden ready. Who? So you got Saka, Palmer and Foden. I wouldn't do it, Johan. Not for a -4. Palmer's the only one I'd really consider for a -4, but you've got nowhere obvious to go with that transfer, so I would just keep him. Alex Cook, thanks for the super chat as well. Yeah, I'm going super chat. I'm going triple captain Turge. We did a poll earlier, and I think it was about 30% are using it, but the majority is saving it still. If you had to start one of Calvert-Lewin or McNeil, who would you choose? Ah, that's close. That one's really a coin toss. It's hard to make the case for either, but Calvert-Lewin's got penalties, so I suppose I'd give it to him. Son to Palmer or play Semenyo? If you can get Son to Palmer, I would do that. Do a triple captain poll. Do we want to do another triple captain poll? I can stick another one up. Do I start Trent or Buonanotte? I'd start Trent, just about. Yeah, Buonanotte's doing well recently. I'll give him that. Interesting pick for 5 mil. I still think I'd rather someone like Rodgers for a bit more. Love your work, brother. Thanks very much, Justin. Appreciate that. Is Foden a lock? Not a lock to start. Not 100%. I was saying earlier, because in the Champions League, he played as one of the 10s rather than down the wing. So Doku and Grealish being out doesn't necessarily benefit him. Pep could mix it up and play him there, but that wasn't what happened in the Champions League. Nunes and Savio played on the wings. So it could still go for Gundogan and Bernardo as the 10s, for example. But I'd say 75% chance of starting if I had to guess. Lucidus, thanks for becoming an FPL Focal member as well. Thanks very much, Lucidus Mente. Appreciate your support. Thanks to all the new members. Roshi01. Roshi says Havertz to Vissa or Wood to afford Saka to Palmer for a -4. think I like Vissa a bit more. Because if you compare the next 5 side by side, Ipswich, Fulham, Bournemouth, Everton, Leicester, West Ham, Newcastle, Arsenal, Ipswich, the fixtures do favour Vissa, so I would say Vissa. But I don't know if anyone ever factors this into their thinking, but if you go for Wood, you've got something to cheer on tonight. Honestly, Wood's a great pick as well. Both got great fixtures this week. So if you want something to cheer on tonight, if you're having a night in, grab a beer from the fridge, watch Wood play for your team. But I'd say I prefer Vissa, just about. But nice moves. I think you're right on the right track there. Either of those are good. I think I'd give it to Vissa if I was picking one now. Obviously, he's not completely guaranteed to start. That's the thing. He came off the bench last match. Are you triple captain Haaland? I'm doing it, Yasin. I'm doing it. Not when you're a Leicester City fan. Do you guys factor that into your thinking, though? I feel like you have to put that aside in FPL. You have to put your club bias aside. Like, if Haaland's playing against Arsenal, and I do think he's the best captain, then I will go for it. I won't be proud of it if, like, Haaland hauls, but you've got to just put it aside in FPL. Like, I'll still up Arsenal till I die, but, you know, you have to put it aside sometimes, your bias. That said, Ben Crabtree famously won FPL without owning a Liverpool asset for all 38 game weeks because he's an Everton fan. So, it can work, club bias. And he says he disagrees. That's his one rule. Never captain against Arsenal. To be fair, like, we've also got an elite defence nowadays, so it's a bit easier to justify not captaining someone against us, and there tends to be a better option anyway. FP1 says, start Gabriel or Semenyo. I'm already starting Raya and Trent. Gabriel or Semenyo? I think I'd go Semenyo. Yeah, I'd go Semenyo. I'm quite happy to have him still. He'll be back in my team in a couple of game weeks' time. Like, he's taken so many shots this season. I think he's taken more shots than any midfielder, something like that. Quite a close one, but you've already got Raya, so you could spread your risk a bit by starting Semenyo. That kind of makes sense to me, especially with Saliba, Calafiori, Timber, all doubts. Anurag says, hey Focal, help me with this. Got a terrible midfield of Son, Rogers, Boumo, Mavididi and Semenyo, and I can bench one. I've got 3 mil in the bank, but one transfer, so Son to Palmer, but I have to stick with Mavididi. I think that's okay. You got to fix the problems in your team first. So you start Palmer, you start Rogers, you start Boumo. So you have to start one of Mavididi and Semenyo. I think you just start Mavididi. That's what I would look to do here. I think that makes sense. I think there was another one there. True Mudkip, he said, hey mate, it's currently 3 AM over here. Conundrum this week. Should I move Saka, Watkins and Gabriel to Haaland to triple captain and Semenyo and Lewis for a -4? Had a great week last week. Huge green arrow, 3.2 mil to 1.7. It really depends if you need to start Semenyo, right? Because you don't want to be buying Semenyo for away at Villa, home to City. So it depends on that. Otherwise, I'd look to another midfielder, like Rogers. I mean, it's not the end of the world starting him this week away at Villa. But against City, maybe you can bench him against City. Fair play, by the way. 3.2 mil to 1.7, so you basically halved your rank. You could go even further. But yeah, if I didn't have Haaland, I think it makes sense to sell Saka to fund it. But hang on, you said Watkins. Oh, so Watkins to Haaland, Saka to Semenyo, Gabriel to Lewis. Got it. I like that. Unless you don't have Rogers. He's the only other one I'd look at. Those moves make sense to me, though. Well, I mean, Watkins could punish that. Saka and Gabriel. Saka could start. But I think it just makes sense. If I didn't have Haaland, I'd be prioritising that. Absolutely. I mean, fair play as well, not owning Haaland for his blanks. Like, you've timed that perfectly. I think if you didn't have Haaland the last few weeks, you count yourself lucky and just buy him, right? Lucidus Mente says, a member for 2 years, started a new membership and shit. Oh, okay. New account. Got you. Well, thanks for the ongoing support. Why'd you start a new one? Can't you just rename your old channel name? Or did they get banned or something? Bonnie Flute says, for a -8, sell Vardiel and my nan for Reese and triple captaining. Hang on. For a -8, sell Vardiel and my nan for Reese and triple captaining. I mean, when I look at those moves, it's logical. Vardiel out. You take the -8. You get Reece James. You triple captain him. Makes sense to me. What you could do is you go Reece James back to Vardiel and then back to Reece for -16. But other than that, looks good. Thanks for the support. Captain Watkins or Palmer? Between those two, I would go Palmer. I've got him vice captain. I'd say Palmer. These are the projected points for this game week. Palmer is second after Haaland, but it's not even close, to be fair. I work at Silverbug, you're a legend. Shout out to Silverbug. Did we used to work together, or did you join after I left? Triple captain Haaland. I'm going for it. Well, let's do a triple captain poll again, because we're well into the stream now. Is your triple captain so yes, used it, saving it. I mean, we need to get a captain poll going as well, but it almost feels redundant this week because most people are on Haaland, but not everyone's got Haaland. So, I mean, some of you are going Palmer, right? Bumo, Watkins. And Bumo will score 4 goals, mark my word. I'll absolutely take that. Even if I'll be disappointed not to have triple captain his 4 goals. Michael says, triple captain active, first chip this season. I'm jealous of anyone that's still got their wildcards. I think someone asked what would my wildcard team be. If I was wildcarding now... Oh, you know what, it's tricky this week though, because would you get Saka? Because the perfect threemium is Saka, Palmer, Haaland, perhaps, but maybe it's doable to have Salah, Palmer, Haaland. Yeah, if I was on a wildcard, I think I'd have Salah, Palmer, and Haaland. Now, that does eat up a ton of your budget, but I think it is doable. Well, let's try and make that. I'm interested to see if that actually works. I feel like it does work. So, you know, Salah there. That Solanke would have to be someone cheaper, probably Vissa, right? But minus 3.8 mil, maybe it doesn't work actually. I'll have to go down to a cheap defender here. Porro to Van den Berg. Who else do we have? Minus 2.3, maybe it doesn't work. You have to have 4.5s, don't you? So maybe Pinnock and then... it's really tight. Like, you'd have to go like Anderson. Oh, we've got 5.1 mil. That sort of works. You just have to have an absolutely dog shit backline, but it is workable. You can have Palmer, Salah, and Haaland. Who could we get for 5.1 mil? I'd keep Raya. Like Aina. I feel like you go something like that, don't you? God, that looks a bit ropey this week. Maybe not Anderson. Maybe just get rid of Greaves for another... Where's the music gone? Hello? Am I live? Oh. What was I saying? Yeah, so maybe you just go for a different 4 mil defender, but I'm actually not sure who off the top of my head. Something like that. It does work. It's a bit stretched, but it does work. If I was wildcarding, something like that, right? Off the top of my head. Josh says, why don't you pick Salah over Palmer? I couldn't get to Salah, really. I mean, maybe I could have gone like Trent down to a 4.5 mil defender. I'm not sure if the money works there or not. Might have done. I just think Palmer made more sense in combination. Vardiol and Palmer. I just think that makes a bit more sense. Archer says, welcome back for another video. Welcome back for another video. Yeah, this is the unofficial remix I made of the OG song. Right. Alex says, sell Havertz, 2 free transfers, 0.5 mil on the bank. Who are the alternatives? 0.5 mil. I like Solanke still, honestly. And obviously if Son's out this week, he'll be on penalties as well. Welcome back for another video. I know. I feel like Solanke's still such a sound pick. But then it's like, which budget mid do you go for after that? There's like Wood, Visser. Obviously, you don't go anywhere near Calvert-Lewin now. If you're picking any of them. Probably Visser, but I think I would go Solanke. I like the next 5. Obviously, City's not great, but Palace away, Villa home, Ipswich home, City away, Fulham home. It's pretty nice. Even like the next, what, 6? Yeah, maybe Raul Jimenez. I just think I'd rather Visser or Solanke than Raul, but he is good, Jimenez. Solanke is the greatest defensive mid in the game. Trust me, once he gets going, it's only a matter of time. You'll see. But yeah, I might be selling Solanke around City. I'm not sure yet. Depends how I want to go with my team, because I could get to a 3-million team with Saka, but I'd have to get rid of maybe like Vardy and Solanke. So I'm not sure. There might be other ways of doing it. I might be able to go Wood down to Stewart, Johnson to Saka, and then Vardy to a 4.5 mil defender like Colwill. That just about works as well. Just about able to afford that, and then I can keep Solanke. Start Gabriel or Aina. I think I got to start Aina, don't you? Quite a close one, but they're playing against Leicester, who have barely scored any goals, right? Like Gabriel, there's no Saliba, potentially no Calafiori and Timber as well. Calafiori's definitely out. So I think Aina just makes a bit more sense. And again, you've got something to cheer on tonight, in fairness. Tonight's games. Johan says, bench 1 out of 8 Nori, Robinson and Justin. So let's refer to clean sheet odds to help with this one. So Wolves, where are they? 13.5. Fulham, 27.5. Justin, 27. I think Robinson, out of all of those. I'd start Robinson. I mean, it's the best team of the 3 as well, so it just makes sense. And they got the best clean sheet odds or thereabouts. I'd start Robinson, Johan. Amy Pan says, Saka replacements with 2.5 mil on the bank, one free transfer. If you haven't got Palmer, just go straight to Palmer. Have you got Palmer, Amy? If not, then just go straight to Palmer. You can't afford Salah in one move, so it's basically Palmer. Now, I'm not convinced about Foden. I feel like he is a massive upside pick, but I just feel like he might also be a headache. I don't know if he's going to start in every game. Colwill or Mikalenko? Mikalenko. What do you think of Strand Larsen as a pick? Yeah, I like Strand Larsen. I think Cunha's even better, but obviously he's like 1 mil more. So I do like the Strand Larsen pick. I might get him in a few weeks' time myself. I was looking at some possible routes I end up going down after I've made these transfers now. If anyone doesn't know what I've done or joined late, I went Saka to Palmer and Trent to Vardiol this week, using 2 free transfers. So I haven't taken a hit yet this season. Has anyone taken hits yet? If so, how many? Alex says, whenever I hear this music, I expect to hear the usual the intro followed by intellectual FPL advice. All right, I'll put it back on for you. Hang on. Where was it? Where are we? Welcome back for another video. I timed that completely wrong. It's harder to do live. Hang on, what did you say? You got the triple captain on Haaland and Pennikin for Greaves. Nice moves. I rate that. Makes sense. Good luck with the triple captaincy because I'm right there with you. Let's go to the next one, though, because we just played that whole one. You think you're going for Darwin? But we don't know how long Jota's out for. Like, what if Jota's back game week 10? Then you could be looking at Darwin benching. I feel like there's many other options. Playing any FUT champs? No, just playing pro clubs. I'm really into my pro clubs. I've actually played with a group for like 8 years now. Since FIFA 16. And they were down this way. They're from Manchester, so I basically like never see them. But they were down for the Fulham game last weekend. And I happened to be at the FPL meetup in London, so they came after the game and we went out together. Had a great night. I was proper feeling it though on Sunday. Any leaked squad updates regarding Leicester? I doubt we'll get anything. We don't tend to ever get Leicester leaks that I'm aware of. Well, I'm to Sam Martin. He used to provide us with leaks, didn't he? But it doesn't seem to anymore. Nah, no leaks right now. Adam says, Son's injuries jerked me into a free hit. First time having Haaland. Welcome to Haaland ownership, Adam. I hope the free hit works out as well. So, 35% triple captain and 12% have used it. 54% saving it. So let's follow that up with a captain poll then. Haaland, Palmer. I'm not sure who the options would be. Who would I go for the third? Salah? Bumo? So if you go for other, let us know in chat who's your other. Captain poll is up. FC8 Sean in the chat, he's going Bumo captain. Mbumo. Damien's going Mbumo, so is Sai. So is Diver. Lots of Mbumo captainers. So I've got him on the poll, so do get your voting on him. Oh my god, it's so one-sided though. Who hasn't got Haaland then? How are you feeling about this game week? It's going to be a stressful game week. Welcome back for another poll. Who's your triple captain? Haaland. Alex is on triple captain Haaland. Bowen. You're captaining Bowen? Who are they? Aren't they got Man United? They're playing home to Man United. Interesting. Size free hitting. I can actually see a scenario where the free hit works. If you don't have Haaland, if you've got Saka, maybe if you've got Salah. You know, if you don't have Foden. Maybe if you've got like double Arsenal defence and Trent. Like I can see the route where you go for it. If you guys saw the experts video, there was one guy that did it this week. One free hit active. And that was basically his situation. So I can see it why it would work. I saw Analytic FPL tweeted his is active as well this week, and I'm guessing for the same sort of reasons. Yes, Vocal lad. How are we doing, Connor? Welcome to the stream. David's got the free hit active as well. Okay, so maybe more free hits than I anticipated active. I'm almost certainly using it in the double. Maybe a blank, but yeah, I don't know if I use it in a single. I mean, I think the triple captain's the least powerful chip, which is why I'm just going to get it out of the way. Use it now when Haaland's got such a good fixture. And Russell Martin's saying, like, we're not going to park the bus. We're going to actually play for the win here. He said something like that. I was like, are you joking? What do you mean you're going to play for the win? I know he's never going to come out and say, like, oh, yeah, we'll get battered. But, like, you'd say something like, we're going to try and frustrate them this week. And, you know, we'll play on the counter or something. I don't know. But it's just not his style, is it? Chat is frozen again. Let me just refresh that. Maybe I can just do... Oh yeah, I could do pop-out chat. I've never done that before. Let's try that. Oh, okay. That works. Where did I get to, though? Butter Knight says, do I do Palmer and Keane in for Trent and Luis Diaz out? The problem with Keane, I definitely wouldn't buy Keane. He's been playing because Branthwaite's been injured. How we doing, Flames? Welcome to the stream. Starboy says, nice Haaland triple captain. The problem with Keane is he's going to lose his spot the second Branthwaite's available, and that could be this game week. So I wouldn't buy Keane. But are there any other former defenders? Maybe Van den Berg. He's the only one, if you haven't got him. I'd consider that. Not Keane. Definitely don't get Keane. I'm not keen on Keane. Van den Berg might work. I mean, it's no guarantee and he keeps playing, but he has been, and it's Ipswich home, so that makes the most sense. Not keen, but I like those moves. Flame says he's not keen on Keane either. David said keen on my bench. I mean, those that benched him last week, very unlucky. You know what? I do remember what people ask in these streams as well, by the way, and when stuff happens, because I can't predict the future. Like, if I could predict everything that happened, I'd be rank 1. And there are sometimes the questions where I'll give my honest opinion, and I'll remember, like, after the fact that it's gone wrong. Like, someone asked about buying Keane last week. But last week, the latest was Branthwaite could be available. So it's like, you just don't buy Keane when Branthwaite's about to come back. But then I remember, like, he scored and got the clean sheet, and I was like, oh my god, I told someone not to get him. But yeah, all I can do is just give advice on what I think is the best decision. And that's FPL. Stuff that you think's the best decision isn't guaranteed to be rewarded. Of course it's not. You could make a whole season of good decisions and do terribly. You could do a whole season of terrible decisions and come first in the world. That's the game. It's a game of variance. Someone asked me if I'm buying Keane, and I said, this is the last time. Very nice, Nicky. Mystery chip prediction. Yeah, let us know. What's the mystery chip? What's your prediction? What is it? Maybe like, I don't know, a manager chip where you pick the points from a specific team. 11 Leicester players. Or maybe pick, I don't know, it's hard. What could it be? I don't think it'll be something like double captain. Maybe it'll be something that they've experimented with on FPL Challenge. Quintuple captain. Imagine that. They just come and drop that. That'd be so blatant they never knew what it was and they run out of ideas. Maybe you can captain 3 people. If anything, I think double captain. But I don't think it'll be that. Unlimited free hit. I just don't think they do that either. It's too similar. It has to be something unique. Some boost inspired by challenge. Like, yeah, on challenge they've done stuff like your defense scores double. But that does seem insanely overpowered. Like, imagine your entire back 5 getting you double points. But maybe it's something like that. Or like strikers score double. Yeah, I don't know. They're doing like really experimental challenges right now, aren't they? Like, you get points for recoveries and tackles. I think it was. But I don't know if it'll be limitless. Maybe. It just seems too similar to the free hit for me. Bring back all out attack. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's all out attack where you can go 2-5-3. When FPL first launched, you could play 2-5-3 and 5-5-0. Salah says, buy 1, Lewis or Pinnock or 8 Nori. I'd say Lewis out of those 3. You've got them in the same order that I'd rank them. I'd say Lewis, then Pinnock, then 8 Nori. But I'd say Lewis, just about. We'll have to see how long Walker's out for, because that's also benefiting his expected minutes right now. But Knight says, mystery chip, swap out players after the deadline. That's an interesting idea. I don't know if they would do that though, because the beauty of FPL is its simplicity. It's like such a low barrier of entry, which is why it's such a massive global game, like over 10 million players. You get one move a week and there's a deadline, and then that's it. You lock it in for the weekend. It's a bit too hands-on. I mean, it'd be amazing for us engaged managers. Oscar says, but it's only 1 week. Yeah, fair point. I mean, maybe it's that. They did do it last season, didn't they? Well, this season as well on challenge. Yeah, you can make changes during the game, can't you? Maybe. Just trying to think how that would work. So, like, Yeah, you could sub players off your bench, and you can make a transfer during the game week if a lineup drops. Yeah, that'd be an interesting one. I just feel like there'd be scenarios where it's just completely pointless though and wasted. Because imagine like you set your team and everything goes as expected. Like, what has your chip actually done? It's not done anything. You've just used it and then like you've not done anything. But yeah, I suppose you could set your team up with a really strong bench and then rotate everyone around. Yeah, it's like Euros Fantasy, isn't it? Yeah, don't know. It's hard to predict what they're going to do there. We'll know in about 2 months today. So yeah, we'll park that one. We'll keep going. Keep your questions coming. Super chat from Kip Cohen. He says bench 1 out of Vardy, Wood, Johnson and Rodgers. I'd definitely start Wood. I'd start Rodgers, home to Bournemouth. So Johnson versus Vardy. Am I mad? But I think I'd start Johnson over Vardy, even though Vardy's playing at home. Is that mental? I'm not at all convinced by Vardy as a pick. I know he scored last game, but he's averaging less than a shot per game. That's alarming for a striker pick. I think I'd rather start Johnson. Alex asked, start Mikalenko, Gabriel or Van de Ven. I'd start Mikalenko out of those 3. They're all pretty close, but I'd say Mikalenko, home fixture. Spurs are away, they don't exactly keep many. Gabriel playing against Liverpool. Saliba, Calafiori, Timber, all potentially out. Obviously Saliba definitely, Calafiori definitely, maybe Timber. Ross Wheeler says, I have exact money for Trent, Saka, João Pedro, Stewart, for 8 Nori, Palmer, Visser and Raul Jimenez from -8. Yes or no and why? From -8? I'm not sure about that for a -8. I don't think that's worth it. I'd rather do something like João Pedro to Visser, depending on what you can afford. Or Raul. So you got 2 free transfers, right? I don't think I'd do that. Are you essentially down to like 9 or 10 players because of João Pedro and Stewart? Because otherwise you could just do Trent down to a cheaper defender, Saka to Palmer. Like you don't need to go Visser and Raul unless you're like down to 9 or 10 players. But not for a -8. There must be someone else in your team you can play instead of João Pedro and Stewart. Yeah, I don't like that for a -8. Like, no, I wouldn't do it for a -8. I don't like 8 Nori that much. Visser's good. Raul Jimenez pretty good. Palmer's great. But for a -8, I just don't know if you get the points back on that over the next 4. Like, Saka could play this game week. Trent's got awesome fixtures. I think I'd rather just do something like João Pedro to Visser if you can afford that and use a second transfer somewhere. FPL Clyde says, I'm calling the mystery chip as double vice captain. How does that work? So your vice captain scores double? 2 captains. How we doing, Sonny? You've got 5 injured players. Okay, well that gives good context. So if you've got 5 injured players, then when you're in that kind of situation, you just have to do it. And you've got 5 injured players, you've got no choice. You have to take the hits. So Visser, so Palmer, yes. Nori, I'm not a massive fan of 8 Nori, I'll be honest. Like, I prefer Pinnock. I think he's better for the next 5, but he's not a terrible pick, 8 Nori. I just think Pinnock makes more sense personally. But for a -8, it cleans your squad up. You're replacing injured players. Or you're placing João Pedro and Stewart, right? Are you counting those as the injured ones? Yeah, I would do it. But you need to address the other injured players like ASAP as well, because it's a slippery slope when you're moving around other players. Do you have a route back to Saka? Yeah, I do. So, I mean, I don't know exactly what it looked like yet. It could be something like Wood to Stewart. This will be like Gameweek 12 potentially. Johnson to Saka, and then it could be something like Vardiol to Colwill. Because I do like Chelsea's fixtures from here. I mean, look at that. From Gameweek 12 down. So maybe that in 3 moves. But I'd need to roll for the next 3 weeks as well to get there, which in theory I should, but you never know. Injuries can completely change everything, as it has for me this week. Because I wasn't really planning to buy Palmer. I was just going to leave it. Can we see the clean sheet odds? There we go, Derek. So Man City top this week, 52%. Brighton 36%, Brentford 34%. Arsenal and Spurs and Villa all on 29%. Oh, I forgot to take the screenshot of Kings in the game week. Let's try and do that right now. God, it was Keane last game week because it's the top scorer. I mean, that sums up the game week when Keane's 14-pointer was top. Guesses in the chat. Top scorer of this game week. Who's it going to be? I'm going to go... Is it going to be a City player? Probably. I want to think of someone funner than that. Who could it be? Get your guesses in the chat. Top scorer this game week. I'm going to go Visser. Melvin said Visser as well. Bumo. Ash went Visser as well. Foden, Haaland, Foden, Watkins, Palmer, Rashford, Wood, Vardiol. Don't think anyone got it last game week. I mean, I'd confirm time traveller, like if anyone guessed Keane last game week. Son. You'll be lucky, Darren, if it's Son. Kulusevski, Gakpo, Jackson. Saka would be funny. Imagine if it's Saka. That would be peak Arteta ball. Starboy McGee, I'm going to go rogue and say Kulusevski. He's having a pretty good season. Any news on Foden? No news really. I mean, we talked about him a bit on the final team selection of thoughts video earlier, if you want to watch that, and the quote from Pep on him, but he's not injured or anything. The debate is like, does he 100% start? I think it's very, very likely, but nothing's guaranteed with Pep. Buonanotte top scorer? Surely not. How long we got? An hour till the deadline. Thanks everyone that's tuned in so far. If you have enjoyed it, drop a like on the stream and make sure you're subscribed. We're going to have a look at the scout selection next. Let us know in chat, how many players have you got from the scout? And then I'll catch up with Super Chats. Apologies, Mudkip. This week, their team is Flecken in goal. Vardiol, Veltman and Aït-Nouri in defence. So they've actually got Veltman and Aït-Nouri against one another. They've got Palmer, Foden, Bumo, Buonanotte in midfield. Haaland, Watkins and Wood. Haaland captain. How many have we got? Justin's got 5, so's Kat. So I'll count mine. Vardiol, Palmer, Bumo, Haaland, Wood. Yeah, I've got 5 as well. Turge's got 7. McGee's got... Starboy's got 4. Worm's got 3. 4, 5. 4, not too bad. They always like to chuck a few rogue picks in. But is Buonanotte rogue? Maybe not. I mean, he's got to be in the conversation if he gets a return tonight. What's his recent returns like? I feel like he's got 3 goals, 2 assists or something. Is it that many? Yeah, 3 goals, 2 assists. So he's got 2 goals and an assist in his last 3 games. And those were starts. Before that, he was benched a few times. Are we overlooking Buonanotte for 5 mil? I think he's on loan from Brighton, unless they signed him. Flecken clean sheet, 8 saves, and a 90th minute goal scored this week. You heard it here. If that happens, then I'll gift 100 memberships. In fact, shall I drop a membership? How should we do this? I'm trying to think of like a fun competition to do 5 gifted memberships in chat. Any suggestions welcomed. Harry Football, always believe in Facundo. Or maybe I'll drop 10. Have anyone got an idea for a game and then I'll drop 10 gifted? I should have thought this before we went live. If Haaland blanks. Yeah, but we need it right now, not if Haaland blanks. Yeah, I like Havertz to Cunha. First 5 people to correctly guess your dog's name. Guess the number. What, any number? Okay, hang on. Okay, I've got it. I'm going to think of a number between 0 and 100. If anyone can get it, then I'll drop 10 gifted memberships. Hang on, let me think of the number first. Don't guess yet. Got it. No one's going to guess this. No one's getting it. No one's got it yet. I'll drop 10 gifted memberships right now if anyone guesses it. I don't think anyone's got it. No one's got it. I'm doing Control F. No one's got it. My number does not exist in your brains. You cannot guess my number. No one's got it still. Genuinely, no one's got it yet. I'm still doing Control. Someone got it. I Sung Rai got it. It was 49. Oh, that's like the deadest game ever to do gifted memberships, because someone was going to get it eventually when there's 2,000 watching, and it's a number between 0 and 100. Hey, congratulations to I Sung Rai, he got it for you. All right, here we go. First 5 are coming. And how to do the other 5? There we go. Another 5 coming. Welcome to all the new members, all 10 of you. If you have Discord, if you link your YouTube channel to it, you automatically get access to the members channel. Welcome to all 10 new members, and well done to I Sung Rai for guessing 49. I can't believe how long that took, because there's like over 2,000 watching, only 100 numbers to guess. Starboy says W's in the chat. We need to start using the emojis more. What have we got? Oh, I forgot about all the focal emojis. These are so good. Why are these so underused? We need more of these. I forgot all about the focal emojis. That was... Oh my god, I just remembered that stream now. That was when it was a double game week, and I brought Elise before the deadline, and my team didn't save. Anyone remember that? Was anyone in that stream? I pressed save like 5 seconds before the deadline, and it like went down, so I wasn't sure if it saved. In the end, it saved, and it didn't matter because I had Huang, I think, who didn't play anyway, so I would have got him off my bench, but the stress was like unbearable. Oh, is it members only? Is that why? Alright, well at least the members can use them. There you go. There's incentive to be a member as well. You also get all those emojis. Right, I have to catch up on Super Chats. I think I'm a bit behind. There was one I forgot. It was Mudkip. Where is he? No, where we are. No, that one? Semenya wouldn't start. I've already got Rodgers. I also have Salah as I'm a Liverpool fan, so I've avoided Haaland so far this season. So it was Saka, Watkins, Gabriel, and Semenya. Perfect. Yeah, do it, Mudkip. That makes sense then. Yeah, got you. Sorry to keep you up as well. It must be like almost 4 AM now. Flandy with the 30 months, and he says, same amount of months as years I have. There we go. Thanks so much, Flandy, for your support. Appreciate it. One of the longest standing members. I do appreciate your support. Is it late? And also, thanks for reminding me about Kings of the Game Week. I'm late. He says, is Saka to Foden the play? From Leak Crew. It really depends on if you have Palmer or not, because If you don't have Palmer, I think Saka to Palmer is way, way more obvious. But obviously you need like 0.9 mil. I think it's just such a better move. Obviously this week it's a great fixture for Foden. But like long term, we just don't know every week if Foden's going to play. And Pep came out with a strange quote on him not being up to his best yet. I won't find the full thing now, but maybe I can find it. Remember it was Neil from Scout that posted it. This was it. There's a lot there, so you might have to just pause and like read through that. But I don't know what to make of that quote. Maybe there's nothing to even read into there. Maybe he's just rambling on about Foden. But he's kind of talking about his ups and downs and stuff, and like how he's not quite there yet. And players have like bumps in their careers. But you know, it's got to start, but it's just not guaranteed. And then it's also the weeks after this. So I just think, to answer your question, League Crew, Saka to Palmer would be the play. I also don't think keeping Saka's a bad play if you've got bench depth. I do not think that's a bad play. Because Saka might play, but if he doesn't, he's got to be back next game week. When was the quote? I think it was from today, Adam. It's a Cantona-esque ramble. Yeah, what was that thing he said, like the Ballon d'Or? We are flyers to Swanton boys. And everyone's like, what? How are we doing, Sebastian? Is Lewis a good pick from 10 onwards? It's not bad. It's just you miss Southampton, that's the thing. But he's not bad. You don't really want to play him, though, against Spurs and Liverpool. He's still good long term. How are we doing, Peter? He says, let's go. Mikalenko or Gabriel? If I had both, I'd start Mikalenko over Gabriel. Anything on Luis Diaz? Nothing on him, really. He was rested, obviously, last game week and in the Champions League. So I feel like he starts. I don't think Gakpo plays 3 in a row. So my guess is that Diaz starts against Arsenal. So that's all I can tell you. He's not injured or anything. Fraser says, thanks for the content, Oscar. Appreciate it. Any updates on João Pedro? Herzler said he can't put a time frame on his return yet. I think it's going to be around Game Week 12, so still a while away. Maybe after the next international break. God, how bad is that? There's still one more international break this year. And then to be fair, then we're heading into the really fun part of the season, December. When there's games on like non-stop. I think there's something like 6 or 7 deadlines in December. So I can't wait for that. I'll have to get the December challenge going as well. For those of you that don't know, I think it's the last 2 years now, maybe just last year. Last 2 years. I set up a mini league called the December Challenge, and clean slate, whoever gets the most points in December, I give £100 to. Was it £100? Might have dropped myself in it. Oh, it's £100 now. Mikey says, doing my head in all these breaks. Me too. I hate the international breaks. Crispy Bacon says, not sure about the triple captain, Oscar. Good luck. I mean, you definitely can make the case for saving it. You definitely can. But, I mean, we can talk about it more again and talk about the pros and cons of it. I'll come back to that in a second. True Mudkip says, cheers, mate. My sleep is stuffed already anyway, but I can watch the game this weekend, which is 3:30 on Monday morning. Really looking forward to it. Fair play. And my sleep schedule's not great either recently. Not as bad as whatever hour it is there now. 3:45. But I've always been a bit of a nocturnal person. Like, I often start editing my videos at 10 PM, 11 PM, just to make a start on it before the next morning. Don't know why, I just can't explain it. I just find that easier to work really late. And then I've already made a dent on it by the next morning. Maybe I'll have to do a video sometime, a day in the life, and record myself recording the video. I don't think there'll be much interest in that. It has crossed my mind before, but I don't know if I'll be able to make it interesting enough. Free hit team from Mr. Ref. Dunk, Lewis, Porro. Foden, Palmer, Bumo, Johnson, Darwin, Wood, and Haaland capped him. I agree with pretty much everyone you've picked there. Darwin's an interesting one. I get why you've gone for him. I do get, yeah, if you want to chuck a little... I suppose if you're on a free hit, like it's you take a punt on a player for 1 week, so I do get it. I'd be tempted to go Wood or Visser though, playing against promoted teams, than Darwin against Arsenal. Do you know what I mean? Like, what's likelier, Darwin scoring against Arsenal or him getting some stupid yellow card and blank him? I'd say the latter, but maybe I'm wrong. I mean, you got something to cheer on tonight as well if you go for Wood. But other than that, great team. Porro's an interesting one as well. Maybe I'd go for like a Pinnock for the better clean sheet odds, but he's got the upside, so I can't really fault that team. It's nice. Good luck on the free hit. Lewis says he's got Palmer, Saka to Foden or Johnson for a -4. If I'd already used up on my transfers, Lewis, I wouldn't take a -4. I'd just keep Saka. As annoying as it is that he's flagged, he's not 100% out. Like, he could play. And I just think Foden's a downgrade longer term. Like, this week, don't get me wrong, nice upgrade. But long term, I just feel like it's a downgrade. Plus, it's a -4. You can make the case doing it for free, but not for a -4 in my opinion. But if I was going to get either of those, if you're really set on the -4, Foden over Johnson. Pat says, Oscar, Palmer is in for Saka. Diaz out for Foden for free. Yeah, I quite like that. I do quite like that. Because Diaz is now becoming like a clear problem. We don't know he's going to start every game. Like, the problem is Foden's the same, but at least he's got the fixtures. Yeah, I like that. Saka to Palmer, Diaz to Foden. But you have to just accept you might be buying into some frustration with Foden. Like, is this where he starts starting every game? No one's been able to call that yet. People have bought him earlier than now and thought now's the time. Is that the same story now? But it's a good move this week, don't get me wrong. Can we see the 200k tattoo? I can't really get my leg out on the stream, I don't think. Maybe I can. Can you see it? Proof it's real. Or I just draw it on every stream in case someone asks. I'm a man of my word if nothing else. Oh, what did I just do? Oh, I forgot I had that transition. That's quite nice. Show me a little more. Get out. Strip stream. Good lord. Yeah, I'm sticking with the triple captain. Oh yeah, that's what we were going to talk about, weren't we? Because we had the question. Well, not question so much, but Crispy wasn't sure on it. Where is it? There. It's actually a screenshot from my video earlier, but just to summarize it. Find your seats before class starts. Feels like a lecture when I do this, but I'll do it again. There's 2 expected double game weeks this season. We've got the bench booster free hit and the triple captain, so that's 3 chips, which are good in double game weeks, but only 2 doubles. Obviously, the free hit can work in a blank as well, but like last season, it went horrendously, didn't it? Like, who went free hit 29 last season, where some people got like 17. And then we got the mystery chip, so like there's potentially 4 chips to use in 2 weeks. So therefore, it might just be the most effective week, and the most effective play could just be to triple captain in a single. And it doesn't really get better than Haaland home to Southampton. But obviously there are other opportunities, like Salah and Palmer still have to play all the 3 promoted teams at home. Leicester, Ipswich, Southampton. Haaland's still got to play Leicester home as well. So there is that side of it. And obviously in terms of the top projected goals by fixture, of all the players all season, Haaland is just about ahead of his projected goals from Gameweek 2, when obviously he got the hat-trick against Ipswich. 1.36 projected goals is what the markets are saying about Haaland this week. So It's a hell of an opportunity, but yeah, you can definitely make the case for saving it. Like if you wait till much later in the season, we know what the mystery chip is. You never know, like it could be a random other double game week, like if the weather causes a postponement, or I don't know, if the king dies or something. You never really know, but I don't know. For me, it's the least powerful chip of all the chips. Like maybe the mystery chip will suck as well, but I think it's a powerful. I think it's going to be a decent chip. You'd imagine they wouldn't add a chip that's boring and not that effective, would they? So I don't know. Everything considered, I just think why not? Just get it out of the way. Odds of the king dying. Yeah, we'll have to check the bookies' odds on that one. Probably pretty low. Odds of a weather postponement, very low as well. I think you forgot the poll. I did, yeah, sorry. 90% Haaland, 4% Captain Palmer, 4% Boomo, 2% other. There we go. So, yeah, my triple captain's active. I don't know, I just think I need to have a bit of conviction with my decisions. The problem was, back in Gameweek 2, it did make sense then as well, and I made the case for it in my videos then, but it was so early in the season, like, it's still quite a bit of fact-finding going on. It feels risky to me to play a chip so early, even though it was like a very good opportunity. Any leaks on the king's health? So yeah, that's where I'm at with it. I just think I'll use it, get out of the way. Attack the game week. Start Semenyo for Diaz / Wood. Yeah, Wood I'd definitely start. I wouldn't bench Wood, Samyak. Semenyo or Diaz? I think I'd give Semenyo a start over Diaz, you know. I think I would, yeah. Any updates on your Foden opinion? Not really. I mean, I think there's probably 75% chance he starts. Maybe it's higher than that. Maybe 80. I was saying earlier, like, Grealish and Doku are out. But in the Champions League, Foden didn't play down the left wing. He was playing as one of the 10s. It was Nunes played left wing. So Foden's competing with the 10s. So it could be Bernardo Silva and Foden. Maybe Gundogan misses out. It's not like he's been that great recently. Where did I get to here? Was it Lewis's question? He says he has Palmer. Hang on. Have Palmer. Saka to Foden. Oh, no, I did that one. It was Wacko who says start Konsa or Keane. The thing is, Keane probably starts or doesn't play at all, right? Is there a chance Keane comes on late? You'd be surprised, wouldn't you? So logic says Keane to me. He's a 90 or a 0, isn't he? So, I don't know, just thinking out loud. You play Keane and then have Konsa first on the bench. Or first defender on the bench. Doesn't have to be first, because the defender comes on if you're playing a 3 at the back. So I suppose Keane actually. But yeah, there could be a chance he just doesn't play at all and then you get Konsa regardless. "5 years ago today, the Saints lost 9-0. Is that true? Was it today? Was that the infamous Bednarek? -7. Or was that the other 9-0? I was getting mixed up. Which one was the bad one? I think he played in both, didn't he? I'm trying to find it now. Because that was the week where... Yeah, I found it. Imagine being the one manager in the world that triple captains the lowest score of all time, or the worst score of all time. One manager in the world, just one, triple captained Bednarek when he got -7. So they got -21 points from him. Yeah, brutal. That one would keep you up. And I mean, why are they even doing that? I don't. God knows why they even did that. First of all, like they can't be playing seriously. Maybe it was anti-FPL. I don't know. Maybe it was Bednarek himself. Yeah, maybe it was. This is prime anti-FPL. It absolutely is. Yeah, minus 21 from one player is absolutely brutal. FPL Focal, that one. Start one, Focal or Raptor. Difficult one though, isn't it? Because Raptor is good. You should have got a prize of FPL. Yeah, that's actually true. If you triple captain the worst score ever, you deserve something for that. Because it's not even like you can feel comfort knowing others are in the same shoes as you. It's just you in the entire world that did it. In fact, on the subject who mentioned Raptor there, what other channels do you guys watch, if any? Because there's so many great channels nowadays. And by the way, I appreciate you tuning into this one. Obviously, you've got like Ross, Harry, Andy, FPL Mate. And you got the podcasts like The Wire, FPL Tips, Golden Goal Fantasy Football, Holly Shand, Gianni. Virtual says, I only have eyes for you. Thank you very much. Harry Praz and Juice. Yeah, big shout out to FPL Juice. FPL Therapy. Fran. Yeah, I've completely forgot Fran. He makes great content. Let's talk FPL. Yeah, Andy's the GOAT. Chai. Yeah, Dylan makes good stuff as well. When he came over, he actually stayed at mine. I said, you may as well save yourself the hotel money. When he came for Fantasy Football Fest. Top guy. We had a great night out. Yeah, Black Box is brilliant. I watched you and Let's Talk FPL, but now only you. BFF, big fucking Focal. Yeah, Davey's great as well. He's been around for a long time. Got some great finishes. Taylor Swift Vivo. What? Your channel's the most pleasant. Alright, stop it now. You're flattering me. Back to FPL. Any further questions on FPL? Oh yeah, who's the most transferred in player then? Who do you reckon it is this week? Palmer? Bumo? Or is it Haaland? Justin says, I use your app every day, thanks. Thanks very much, Justin. Appreciate that. If anyone's not got it, there's a link in the description. It's completely free. You can check your live rank, bonus points. You can check insider trading. It's a fixture ticker tool. It's on iOS and Android. Just search FPL Focal in the App Store. We've got some great stuff coming for it as well. New additions I've been working on for like weeks and weeks. Palmer, you reckon Palmer? Let's see who it is. Most transferred in. Oh, it's Bumo. Mbumo with an M. 589,000 transfers in. Vardiol's second. 528. Palmer's third. That's surprising. Is that because his ownership's quite high already? Forest Filmroom, sincerely, you make the best FPL content. Thanks very much. Appreciate that. That does mean a lot. Because like, I really am passionate about FPL. Like, I've played this game for over a decade now. So I do try to like put everything into every video. The day that's not how I feel anymore, then I'll stop making videos. But yeah, I love FPL. It's an addiction, isn't it, FPL? So, Jimenez in 5th. McNeil, Keane. 266,000 bought Keane. Wait, he's 4.2 mil now? What the hell? I think these people are going to be in for a rude awakening soon. Who's the most sold then? Oh yeah, Saka, obviously. 1 million. 1 million have sold Saka. Saliba, 800,000. Luis Diaz, 475k. Jota, Havertz, Gabriel, Smith-Rowe. Welbeck, Raya, João Pedro, Anderson. Anderson was a bit unlucky, wasn't it? That red card. YT says, I did Saka to Palmer this week and I've got one more free transfer. I want to shift Diaz, but may wait until next week to do Solanke to Rao and Diaz to Saka. Thoughts? Yeah, in that context, I would leave it a week. I would leave it. Because, you know, say Saka plays this weekend, or if he's, you know, in full training next week. I think there's League Cup next week. Say he plays midweek next week and you just know 100% he's fine. Then, yeah, there's a route back to him there when, like, as we saw, 1 million have sold him this week. So I would leave it, yeah. I think you've got that bang on there. Start Gabriel or Fass? I'd start Gabriel. Is Vessa good for this week? He is good for this week. I do really rate him. Probably maybe the best budget forward. There is just a slight doubt because he's only just back from injury. Does he get another cameo or is he straight in the 11? You can imagine he's going to be fit enough to start now after a cameo last week. Like, if he's fit enough to play a cameo last week, there's a good chance he's fit enough to start this week. So, yeah, I like the Vissa pick. Focal, you're the best. Thanks very much. ONC dat. And thanks, Ash, as well. Who's the best defender? 6.2 mil budget. Vardiel, I would say. Start Keane or Van der Ven? I'd start Keane. I think he either plays the 90 or he just doesn't play at all. And then if he doesn't play, Van der Ven comes on for you. Start Semenyo, Diaz or Aina. Is that Luis Diaz? Is that what you mean? If it's Ruben Diaz, then you start Ruben Diaz. If it's Luis Diaz, then Semenyo, probably just about. It's very close, that one, I would say. Very, very close. How are we doing, Jay? That is Luis Diaz, okay. Nori or Robinson? I'd say Robinson. Mitoma or Barnes? If that's who to start, Mitoma. If it's who to buy, I wouldn't be buying either of those. After this week, I think Brighton have got like City and Liverpool or something. And Newcastle's attack's just not really clicked, has it? So I wouldn't be looking there either. But yeah, if it's who to start, Mitoma. Strand Larson or Rao? I think you can't look past Jimenez in current form. And then maybe you shift him on to Strand Larson, you know, in like 5 game weeks time. He's got 4 goals and assists in his last 5, right, Jimenez, so. Do you reckon Maddison starts? Yeah, he's got to. He won't play the 90, I'd imagine. He will come off early. But he has to start. By the way, did you see the Spurs lineup in the Europa League yesterday? Porro, Johnson and Solanke are all on the bench. So I was pretty happy about that as someone that's got all 3. Salah says, sell Son and buy Palmer from -4 or play Mavididi. You know what? I'd be very tempted to do a -4. What's your -4 though, Salah? I think it's worth it. I do think it's worth it. I was going to buy Palmer Game Week 12, but I've just brought it forward as a Saka owner just because of the uncertainty. I feel like I'd rather take the -4 in your situation. Because like Son is almost certainly out. If anyone's missed it or joined late, this was what Postecoglou said. He said Son's still not right, still not feeling 100%. He won't train today, so it's unlikely for this weekend, and we'll see after that. Tiggy Taylor says wildcard 9, Palmer, Salah, Bumo, Foden. 5th spot is Garnacho, Johnson or McNeil. Definitely not McNeil. Johnson versus Garnacho is an interesting one. I really like Garnacho as a pick. Like, he's played 90 like 4 times in a row, but can we trust Man United? Probably Johnson, just about. It's really close, that one. I'd say Johnson. And here's a move you can always make in like 3 game weeks time when Johnson's got City, right? Or you set yourself up so you can bench him that week. Nice midfield, by the way. So hang on. You've got Palmer, Salah, Foden and Haaland. I'm guessing you've got Haaland. There's no way you wildcard this week and you don't have Haaland. What's your defence? Like 5 4-mil defenders? I guess you can make it work. We did something similar earlier, but we didn't have Foden in there. The midfield was Palmer, Salah, Bumo, and then it was like Semenyo and Rodgers or something. I don't know how you've got Foden and Garnacho, or McJohnson in there, sorry. Sebastian, thanks for the super chat as well. Appreciate that. Thank you. Is Van der Ven starting? Yeah, you absolutely will. Do you mean Van den Berg? Van der Ven starts every game for Spurs when he's available. Welbeck injury updates. He's trained, but he's not 100%. We won't know before the deadline. Molly Maguire, Oscar, what's your Tesco meal deal of choice? It really varies like what mood I'm in. I like a ham and cheese sandwich, but if I'm feeling like something a bit healthier, then I'll get the chicken one with the lettuce and all that. And then crisps. My girlfriend hates it, but I probably like cheese and onion Walkers. But then I just absolutely reek for a while. And then drink Pepsi Max. I do still love a Pepsi Max. Tesco McNeil deal. Very good. Salah says my -4 is to sell Gabriel and Son for Lewis and Palmer. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Good moves. Greg's. I like Greg's. I'll tell you a really bad mistake I made last year. I read this tip online, right? If you're going to Glastonbury Festival, just load up a tub of Greg's and then you can have like fresh pastries from the comfort of where you're sleeping like in the morning. So I did that. I spent like 20 quid on Greg's for my group. And it like sat there fermenting and I didn't realise. And on like the 4th day, because it's a 5-day festival, on the 4th day I like smashed down, like it's like a chicken bake or something. And I was so unwell. And it's just like the worst place to be unwell. I was a write-off for like the entire day. And then I just forced myself to go and see Elton John. And I just about made it through. But it was like a 3-hour set, Elton John. And I was dying. And yeah, I barely made it. I had to like disappear during Rocket Man. It was not good. If anyone knows the secret channel that's got the Glasto vlog, you'll notice there's like nothing that happens on the last day on the vlog. It's just suddenly like Sunday, Elton John, and that's at like 10 p.m. Anyway, I do like Greg's though, but I'm never making that mistake again. Mahali says bench 1 out of Trent, Gabriel, Mikalenko, and 8 Nori. Oh, really tricky one this. It's a massive one this week, like Trent versus Gabriel, because Gabriel, no Saliba, no Calafiori, maybe no Timber. So I feel like I'd be surprised if they keep a clean sheet, but I am expecting a low-scoring game. But 8 Nori, I just don't trust him to keep a clean sheet at Brighton. I just don't see it. Sounds mad, but I think I'd play Trent, Gabriel, Mikalenko. And bench 8 Nori. Would you guys start 8 Nori away at Brighton? I mean, look at the clean sheet odds this week. That'll help us as well. Wolves are second bottom on the clean sheet odds, 13.5%. So that kind of lines up with what I've said there, even if Liverpool have got pretty poor odds. Arsenal 29 is generous, I'd say, but markets say what they say. Sebastian says he wants to sell Havertz and Raya, Pickford and Rao. I wouldn't sell Raya. I think he's a keep. I know he's been so annoying. Like, I've got him as well. Like, I picked him up on the wildcard and I've just broken him. I bought him here. And he's got 1-2-1. I mean, the returns before that were so good. He will come good again at some point. But I wouldn't sell Raya. Keep Raya. Havertz out is okay. You could do like Havertz to Solanke. You could go Havertz to Jimenez, Vissa. But just keep Raya. It's not worth chopping and changing a keeper. Transfers are too valuable for that, in my opinion. But if I was picking a Havertz replacement, I do think I'd say Solanke. FPL Worm says, when you hit 250k, you'll have to give us a link to the secret channel. The reason I've not advertised it is I wanted to just test myself if I could make a channel do well completely independently. And I'm not uploading regularly there at all, literally once a year. And the channel's got like, I'm not trying to grow it either, but the videos have got like 15k views with 100 subscribers. So that kind of proves like there is something in like, how do I say this without sounding arrogant? I think I should just move on from what I'm saying. Like there is a formula, I guess what I'm saying, to do well on YouTube. That kind of proved to me like it is possible. It's not complete luck, but you do need luck as well, I'll say that. But like to get 15k views with no subscribers, basically. Like the first time I did the one, it had none. Now there's like 100 that don't even know. Actually, some people commented like, is this FPL Focal? Is Conser starting? Yeah, I think he has to be in the team now. Emery said they've got a fully fit squad. So he has to be. Can you make a YouTube video on how to do a YouTube? Maybe someday. Maybe I'll make a third channel on how to grow on YouTube. I think it's actually pretty simple. You have to bring something new that no one else is doing. Like, there's a lot of FPL channels, but if you're a new channel, you got to do something that separates you. And that was what I did when I started mine. I don't do it as often nowadays, but like, if you look at the videos, some of the stuff like no one had thought to do, like the biggest FPL score of all time, the worst FPL disasters, the most controversial FPL game weeks. Oh, by the way, oh my god, I don't know if I should tell you this. I've been working on a video since Gameweek 1, and it's going to be like a 5-month project, and it's going to require about $1,000. It's like a massive one. I don't want to give too much away, but like it's a 5-month project, this FPL video, that every game week I'm working on. So there's like a really, really interesting video, in my opinion, that's going to come in the new year that you won't have seen anything like before from an FPL perspective. That's similar to that sort of stuff, like original FPL content. It is hard to like make stuff original, but it's doable. And yeah, I've got this idea in the works, and it's anyway, I won't say any more, but it'll be a banger, I think. FPL experts and who to buy are my favourite. Yeah, which ones are your favourites on my channel, chat? Where are you posting it? I'll post it here. It's an FPL video. Do you have a favourite series on my channel? So that every week it's like the who to buy, team selection, the experts, and then final thoughts, basically. Interviewing real life players about FPL. It's not that, but I won't give anything away. The experts, players to buy, a bit of a mix then. Yeah, I think the experts may be the most helpful, but that one's the most work as well. Your vlog on the other channel's my favourite. Oh, you seen it? It's not secret enough then. Right. Matt D says, Diaz to who? He's got Palmer and Bumo. Thoughts on Garnacho? Yeah, I think Garnacho makes the most sense. Maybe Johnson? Oh. It's really close between Garnacho and Johnson. The problem is, like, do we trust Man United? Like, Garnacho's numbers. Did you see? Let me try and find it. I think last week he took more shots than anyone. Or was it the most expected goal involvement? And they've got really nice fixtures, but I just don't know about trusting Man United yet. Have you got Johnson or triple Spurs? I think I'd go there first, but Garnacho's good, Matt. If you've got a feeling about Garnacho, I can't separate them, to be fair. Son Goku says, Man United fan here, don't buy them. I just think, like, don't know. He's shown a lot of promise as an FPL asset. Chelsea next week's not great though, but like after that, it's really nice. So that's why I think Johnson, and then you go to Garnacho. Yeah, Garnacho took 8 shots last game week, which was more than anyone. He really dug in, like, deeper than anyone last game week to get them the win over Brentford. Amaguna, I'm surprised how bullish you are towards Spurs, Oscar. It's just a nice run of 3 games, basically. And then like you've got the option to just go Garnacho win for Johnson. 15 minutes till the deadline. Reminder to do your moves. Lock in your bench order. You make sure your captaincy's right. Oh, Sean found the channel. Oh, no. How are people finding it? I think actually when I very first launched it, I must have mentioned the name. I can't really remember now. Maybe I tweeted it, but I haven't mentioned it for years. Are you confident with Haaland triple captain? I mean, it's probably the best opportunity to use it in a single game week in terms of projected goals. Like 1.36. He had 1.34 projected goals back in Game Week 2, so basically the same when he got a hat-trick. So, I don't know. We've gone back and forth on like... I did a whole triple captain segment. If you want to pause this segment and go back and look at this, those are like reasons, pros and cons to use it now or to save it. But yeah, like as Daniel says, Game Week 2 they did have KDB. No Rodri, but KDB. Now there's no KDB or Rodri. So like there is that, and there are other opportunities, but I just think I'll get it out of the way. Like it's an insane fixture, and then like Russell Martin's coming out and saying we're not. What did he say again? We're gonna go for it. We're gonna try and get a result. So like, is he really gonna go for it and try and get a result away at City? You're not gonna park the bus away at City. Is it gonna be an open game or what's gonna happen there? Could be a goal fest, maybe not. I know there were games last season, was it like Sheffield United or Luton, like City only put 2 past them. That is possible, don't get me wrong. It's all a risk, isn't it? But it is what it is. We did a poll earlier and like 30% are using it, so the majority are still saving it. Stain... I think this is frozen. Hang on. I don't want to miss someone's super chat, so let me refresh that as well. 13 minutes till deadline. Oh, I'm well behind. Where did I get to? Yeah, Stain. Santa Palma from -4. Vandenberg, Ipswich on the bench. I think I would do it. I think I would do that. He probably will be back next game week. How we doing, Thomas? Welcome to the stream. I think I would do it if I had Son. I think I would take the hit. But I don't dislike holding on to Son. And I know what you're saying. Like, you keep him and Vandenberg will play for you this week. But I think you just want Palmer anyway, don't you? Like, I'll be honest. Like, FPL's about enjoyment as well. And I did not enjoy going into every game week where Palmer's pushing 90+% effective ownership. Like, if he does another 25-pointer, which he probably won't, at 90% EO, like, I can't handle that again. He was a bit lower ownership when he did it before, but I don't know. I just think you protect yourself a bit as well. Son's great, but like, I think I would do it for a -4 if I was in that position. Charlie Cross says, I brought in Son early for Saka, 1 free transfer, 0.4 mil in the bank. I'm currently starting Raya Lewis, Collins, Gabriel, Mikalenko, Palmer, Bumo, Semenyo, Son, Haaland, Wood and Solanke. Love your videos. Thanks very much, Charlie, for the super chat. That's really unlucky. We were saying earlier, though, like it's a bit... I think it's a valuable lesson. It's when you can, it's worth making your transfers as late as possible, which is why normally I'll do them right before the deadline, especially when there's European football. But I understand you were trying to catch the price rise or something, I guess. So, is there a question on this, or... Are you wondering whether to keep Son? You've already got Palmer, so I'll just keep him, basically, to answer your question. Yeah, you've already got Palmer. I'm not so sure about going to Foden. It's probably going to age horribly, me saying that, but... I just feel like you're buying yourself a headache later. He wrote it in chat afterwards. Should I roll or use another transfer to get rid of Son? Yeah, I would roll. I mean, you could go to Foden, but he'll be back next week, and like he's probably the best captain when they play Ipswich. So I don't think I'd do it. Kano says need a replacement for Jebison and Nedeljkovic. How much money have you got, Kano? Van den Berg's probably the best Formula defender. Jebison. I mean, it depends how much you got. There's no point selling Jebison unless you can go up to like a Visser, I'd say. Would be my favourite pick. Jebison up to Visser, but you need like 1.5 mil for that, right? Depends how much money you got. Hard to answer. Mr. F says free hit set, I think. He's gone Fleck and Porro, Vardy or Dunk. Savio, Bumo, Palmer, Johnson, Haaland, Watkins and Woods. Savio. It's a really nice team. Savio's an interesting one. So you've swapped a couple of the punts around. I feel like Savio... don't know. I'll try and squeeze Foden in, but I guess then you have to go Vardy or to Lewis. I think that's fine. It's a good team. Just make sure you got your bench set right, just in case Pep trolls us with Savio. But it's a nice free hit. Really nice. I'd line it up basically identical to that. Can't really fault it. Good luck with the free hit. Raz B says he's got 2 free transfers. And he's got Diaz and Son. Should I take a hit for Johnson? What do you mean? If you've got 2 free transfers and you've got Son and Diaz, then why wouldn't you go... Have you got Palmer already? Where's the hit coming from if you've got 2 free transfers? I'm not following that one. Why don't you just do Diaz to Johnson, Son to Palmer? I'm trying to see if you said something after that in chat. I don't quite follow that one. Clean sheet odds. Yeah, I'll pull these up. There they are. It's from checkthechance.com, by the way, if anyone ever wants to check those. Uh-oh. Is this frozen? Oh, we're back. I'm about to take them off, so last chance to look at the odds. Alright, screenshot of my team. Do that again. Game week 9. Just quickly do this. So right, let me catch up on chat. Tiggy Taylor says captain Salah, Palmer or Bumo. I would go Palmer captain, I think, and Bumo vice. It's quite close, that one. Projected points this week have it really close as well, but it's got Palmer second on 6.9 and then Bumo on 6.4, so I would agree with that. If Palmer was playing away, I'd go Bumo instead, but he has got the home fixture. I think he scored in the same game last season. Russell Baker says, I might go Haaland this game week 10, keep Havertz to go Raul / Cunha. Yeah, I can see people doing that. Maybe as soon as game week 10, right? I can see that happening. I think that's going to be quite debated next week, because you can swap Haaland out if you've got a few free transfers to get Salah in, because Liverpool's fixtures are nice from next week. So I can see that happening, and it might be where I go in game week 12. I think that's when Salah's got Southampton. So I might end up on a 3-man midfield. So it'd be like Haaland down to a really cheap forward, and then like Johnson and Semenyo to Salah and Saka. So yeah, I can see that working out. I think it's going to be a popular talking point in the coming weeks. But it's going to be hard to sell him like if he hauls against Southampton, isn't it? And like, although he's got tougher games on paper, like I think he got brace against Spurs in that same game last season, so it's not necessarily a bad one. Kano says Smith Rowe versus Vandenberg. Who starts? I'd start Smith Rowe. You got to start the attacker, Kano. Bench order: Smith Rowe, Gabriel, Vandenberg. Well, you're starting Smith Rowe, right? I think I'd put Vandenberg ahead of Gabriel. Although Gabriel's got more goal threat, I think the clean sheet odds would lead me towards starting Vandenberg ahead of him on the bench. Gabriel or Trent? I think I'd start Trent between those two. That's also really close. Fass or Gabriel? Gabriel. Digne or Semenyo? I think Digne, Sam. That one's really close as well. Because Semenyo's like... he's shooting at such high frequency right now, but I think you've got to start Digne. If it was like Powell versus Semenyo, then I'd say Semenyo, but Digne's got an attack and return in him as well, plus the clean sheet potential. Matty says Salah, Foden or Palmer for 3 weeks. Sells or Leno for 3 weeks. Just for 3 weeks. Salah? Because after 3 weeks, Palmer's got Leicester. So if it's 4 weeks, Palmer. If it's 3 weeks, Salah. Sells or Leno? Clean sheet odds this week say Fulham 27.5%. Forest 27.5 as well. Let me just check the fixtures to give a more educated answer on that. So Forest away at Leicester tonight, and then it was it Fulham away at Everton. I think I'd start Sells. Check your captain and vice and bench from Flandy. I thought you were talking to me then. I was starting to panic. Yeah, I'm all locked in here. So if anyone's joined late, the moves I've made is Saka to Palmer, Trent to Vardiel, and triple captain active. Will it go well? Will it go horribly? Who else is with me in the triple captaincy this week? Welbeck news. He's been in training, but it's going to be a late decision whether he can be involved. So can't say either way, unfortunately. Gabriel first on your bench. I think Semenyo. Surely Flandy. Semenyo ahead of Gabriel. I don't know. I do agree it could be a low scoring game, but can Arsenal keep a clean sheet? Without Saliba, without Calafiori, probably without Timber. Against Liverpool of all teams. I don't know. I think that makes slightly more sense. Semenyo first. What's the rationale behind triple captain Haaland? It's going to be too late to discuss it all now in 2 minutes. But basically, we've got like 4 chips, including the mystery one, and only 2 double game weeks expected this season. So basically, it's going to happen later in the season as well. Trust me, there's going to be people using the triple captain in single game weeks. Just purely because of the less double game weeks. And there are other opportunities, like Salah and Palmer have still got to play all 3 promoted teams. Haaland's got Leicester home way later in the season. So it's going to happen. There's going to be loads of single game week chip users just by process of elimination. If there's 2 doubles and 4 chips, then we simply have to use some chips in single game weeks. And it's just, I mean, it's Southampton home. He got a brace in the Champions League, although it's Sparta Prague. Diego says, all in triple captain activate. Yeah, my triple's active, Jacob. It's got the white C around him. In fact, you can see it here. It says cancel there. It's active. Less than a minute, says Herpy. Did I miss any super chats? Nug says, if I free hit now, will all my -4 points still happen? No, your hits get wiped. Hits get wiped if you free hit. Is Salah worth taking a hit? It's hard to answer that about the context of it, but I'm not going to be able to answer that before the deadline. Start Martinez or Flecken. Can't be asking me questions 1 minute before the deadline. That's stressful. That is the deadline. All right. Let me take slow mode off. So we can do our predictions for the game week. Leicester v Forest, tonight's game. Predictions in the chat. What do we think this one's going to be? Oh, I thought I might have broke it there. I was trying to be clever. That didn't work, did it? Oh, there we go. Guesses in the chat for this one. 1-0 to Leicester. 2-1. 2-0 Forest. 0-0. 2-1. Oh yeah, put which game you're predicting as well, because we'll move through this list fast. I'll zoom in a bit. Is that better? 2-0. Okay. Aston Villa versus Bournemouth. Guesses in the chat. Aston Villa v Bournemouth. How did we get on last week? Oh, we're 51st. We need to step it up here. 3-0 Villa. 3-1. I think people are saying 3-1 mostly there. Brentford v Ipswich. Brentford versus Ipswich. Slow mode is off, so you can guess as fast and as frequently as you need. Brentford v Ipswich. Isn't Bumo going to come good again? Visser. Will they keep a clean sheet? I know there's a lot of Flecken owners. People have bought Pinnock. 3-0? You reckon 3-1? You reckon Ipswich score? 3-1. Okay. Brighton versus Wolves. What are we saying? Brighton v Wolves. Can Wolves turn it around? Turn their season around? 1 point. Just 1 point. Look at their record under them there. Loss, draw, loss, 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 loss. Do they turn the tides? 1-1. Diego said 1-1. There's a few 1-1s there. 2-1. Quite a few 2-1s. Man City versus Southampton. God, my heart dropped now just thinking about this game now. I've got the triple captain active. If anyone says Southampton win this, you're done. Southampton 1-0. What do you mean? Oh dear. What's it? 4-0? 5-0? Are we actually going 5-0? 4-0? 4-1 or 5-1? There's no way Southampton keep a clean sheet away at the Etihad. I simply don't believe it. Oh God. Alright, Everton v Fulham. Everton versus Fulham. 1-0. 3-2 to Fulham. 2-1 Fulham. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. Yeah, it looks like 1-0. Chelsea versus Newcastle. I'm on 15% battery on the headphones. Quick, Chelsea v Newcastle. (4-1) to Chelsea. 2-0. 3-1. 3-1. Okay, 3-1. Crystal Palace versus Spurs. Before my battery dries. Before my battery goes on the earpods. Yeah, I triple captained Morgan. Triple captained Haaland. Palace v Spurs. What are we saying for this one? Put which game you're guessing in case you're out of sync here. 2-1 to Spurs. 2-1 Spurs. 3-1. 2-1 Spurs. Okay, we'll go with that. West Ham versus Man United. We've just got 2 left to do. West Ham v United. (2-1 to West Ham. You reckon? 3-1 to West Ham. 3-1 to United. 2-1. 1-0. 1-0. Quite a lot of 1-0s. Alright, lastly then. Arsenal versus Liverpool. Super Sunday. What's happening here? Last one, and then we're done. Arsenal versus Liverpool. 10-0 for Arsenal. I'd love that, but I just don't actually see that one happening. 1-0, 1-0, 3-1 Liverpool, 2-0, 4-0 to Liverpool. God, that'll ruin my weekend if it's 4-0 to Liverpool. Unless Haaland gets a hat-trick, then I'll feel a bit better about that. 2-0 to Liverpool. Everyone's saying Liverpool. I'm trying to find someone saying Arsenal here. Day 109 of calling Focal Smexy Geezer. Thanks very much, Will. So, all right, 2-1 Liverpool. God, that doesn't feel nice submitting that. All right, thank you everyone that's tuned in. Appreciate you all. We won't bother raiding today. My earpods are done. So I'm going to charge them up and then watch Chris Wood play football tonight. Hopefully get something. Thanks all for tuning and good luck this game week. So anything else? Don't think so. I think that's it. Don't forget to get the FPL Focal app. Search FPL Focal in the App Store. And there is my team. Saka to Palmer, Trent to Vardiol. That's it from me. Thanks everyone. Good luck this game week. Focal out.